Hey guys, I'm here again. I have actually, let's see. Hey Melissa. So, here's the tricky part. First of all, welcome back. Now we are going to trace the design on the silk. Now, this silk is so huge that I did not think I was going to be able to do this, but by God's grace, he's so amazing. He just showed me how to do it. So, because it's easier for me to transfer by not getting on the floor or anything, and because the silk is so big, I usually put together, hey Becky, welcome back. I usually put together, hi Barb, God bless you. Put together the pattern as you guys can see. Let me see if I can move the frame. Oops, I got the tripod going. Hold on a second. So you guys know that I put the oops, I got tangled. The pattern together on the table yesterday. So what I actually do is I tape it down. This table, it's pretty big for me to hold the pattern for extra large flag. So it kind of works out really good. And what I did, I taped it down so it doesn't move. Now the legs of my frame are tall enough for me to bring it forward, bring it over the table and center it. And I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna put this here so that you guys can see what I'm doing. So what I actually do is, of course I have to remove my chairs and such, but this is a lot easier than getting on the floor. So you're gonna center yourself. Now, I'm a perfectionist, so I usually have my ruler with me, my measuring tape. I'll try to get behind you. And I measure the space between the edge of the design to here, and then the edge of the design to here. I want to make sure that I am even. So right now, I'm 18 and a half inches long on this side. And on this side, I am 22 and a half. So that means I'm 3 inches off. So I'm just going to move this maybe an inch and a half. Let's see how this does. So, oops, wait, where's the edge? Right here, 24. I moved it too much. Then you're gonna make sure that same space. Now, as you notice, the frame is slightly higher than the table, but that's okay. So I am probably from the paper up. There's a half circle here. I don't know, you'll be able to see it once I start drawing. But this circle, I never finished it, so I have to take that into consideration. Since I have more silk down here, I am able to actually complete that and bring the design downward. Now you want to make sure that, as you guys can see, I had to put some tape enforcers into the silk to get rid of some of the saggy spots. And you could adjust these just by picking them up and and repositioning them, which is really nice. I'm gonna go around. So the top of this silk, the last circle is right here. I want to make sure that everything is captured. The center of the design is right here, which is the cross. So I'm just being led to do this. That's 52 inches. That's 48. So that means that I still need to move it this way just a tidbit. I just like everything to be perfect. I probably moved it too much. You're gonna find that it doesn't take much. So when you think you're moving it just a couple of inches, you actually moved it. Okay, there's 50 there. And there's 51. So just knocking just a little bit. And that should do it. Here we go. Perfect. 50 and a half. So that did it right there. So once we do that, hey Tracy. Once we do that, I'm gonna put this weight. Now, I have smaller weights, but I can't find them. We've been packing and purging and donating and throwing out in order for us to transition to be closer to our sister, Tracy, who just happens to be watching. And I don't know what I did with those weights. So today, we're gonna be using these huge weights, but still, you wanna be able to weight the silk down while you sketch. And I am using, like I told you yesterday, I'll be using this pen to sketch everything. Now, I'm gonna be bringing this closer so that you guys can see what I'm doing. And hopefully, there. So now that the silk is centered, just double check, and I'll tell you why. I just hit that edge with the tripod, but you want to make sure that everything is okay. All right. So you're gonna put these. I have two. Right there. Just so that the silk doesn't budge, and if the frame moves, the silk will stay in place. Now remember, you're basically just getting an idea where you're gonna be lining. Oh, you're gonna love it, Melissa. I love these things. So you're basically just gonna start sketching. And that's how I see it is. Let me see if I could get you guys closer. So basically, I'll start in the middle, work myself out. Now when you're doing this, you don't have to be completely perfect. I mean, yes, the purpose of the pattern is so that you follow the line, but don't get stressed out if you see that it's not perfectly. You basically want to be able to flow in such a way that it looks natural. This, in this case, is water So you want it to flow. Don't, when you sketch, can you guys see that? Okay. When you sketch, let me see if I could get closer. Yeah, there it is. When you sketch, try not to put too much pressure on the pen. Melissa, this is a felt pen. It shouldn't nag, but it flows easier if you just let it go lightly. So basically, just bring down the silk. And don't try, like I said, don't try to be, you want one stroke. If you make any mistakes, it's okay, because this pen is water soluble. So you could actually erase it or it will not be there. Now for this new living waters, I did add some hearts into the design, and I'll show you once I'm done here. What I find is that when I'm doing this, even though I have the pattern, the Lord may lead me to do it in another way, or just do something different to it. Kind of incorporate his own little gifts for that one person. See, I'm just going lightly. I'm going with the flow. I'm enjoying every moment. I'm not stressing. Am I doing this right? Now, I don't know if you guys can see, but that little bubble didn't come out as perfect as I wanted to, but I'm not going to stress over it because basically this is just a guide. So when I go with the resist, that's when I work on making it good. And you just enjoy the moment. This is a perfect time for you guys to meditate and just spend time with the Lord. Because your mind is really not thinking. It's just flowing with the design. There's no really brain work. It's just following the lines. So it's a perfect time for you to meditate. It's a perfect time for you to talk to him. A perfect time for you to really engage in a conversation with him. Right, Lord? Acknowledge him, that he's here. Ask him to help you. Is there anything that you want me to add to this design today, Father? This is a process that should not be rushed. It should be enjoyed. Thank you, Barb. Let's see, I'm stopping to read, see if anybody has any comments, any questions. So just enjoy the time. Now remember that portion here that I told you that we had extra silk, but the pattern stopped right there? So you're basically going to freehand the rest of it. So you come here, and that's where the pattern stops. So you're going to come and freehand the rest. There's a lot of little teeny bitty bubbles here. I'll do this part when I turn over there. The table works great because even though you're bending at the waist, you're not actually at the floor. Which for me is very difficult to get down on the floor and get back up. So this just works perfect. Now you guys remember yesterday I told you while I was doing the video on the design, on how to prep the design to be printed to make a pattern. I spoke about the fact that this pattern that I was making was for 45 by for an extra large flag. So because this is a velour, I'm going to have to freehand the rest of the pattern. And I'll show you guys how I do that once I get to that portion. First of all, I want to make sure that I complete that area there that I'm supposed to be extending. Now, one thing that you have to make sure that you don't do, which I've done before, and I just caught myself putting the pressure on, that as you're bending over, be careful not to push the frame forward and move the design. Move the silk over the design, because then you're going to have a really difficult time, especially depending on how complex the design is. Here comes the part of the wave. And that's the wave that we're going to extend. A lot of people don't understand the complexity of doing hand painted silk. It's completely different from hand dyeing, especially when you are doing the French technique of using the French dyes, which you have to steam. And you cannot steam them in the microwave. You basically, and tomorrow you'll see how we do it. You basically have to roll the silks and put them in this huge steamer. I usually go over, make sure that I didn't miss a part. Move over here. Now, when it comes to hand painting just like hand dyeing, you're never gonna get the same results twice. So even though you're doing the same pattern, your painting is never gonna be completely 100% the same as the original. That's my signature. Let's see, gonna make it a little smaller here. So I'm gonna move back there so you guys can see. Now I usually keep a couple of these pens handy, because keep more than one, Melissa. Always get more than one, because you don't wanna run out, and when you do, you don't wanna be half done. So I made it a conscious effort to always order 2 at a time. So that if you ever run out while you're working, because sometimes we get on a roll where we're just doing one after the other, and we forget to check how our supplies are, and I have been there. So I always purchase 2 of these pens at a time. Now, I noticed how I did this here, so I'm just gonna basically move that line a little bit so that it will look better when I'm painting this. Now my pen right now, it's kind of slacking in a couple of areas, but I still have enough ink in it, so I'm going to continue. What's going to happen with the pen, if you get to a point where it's coming to an end, it's just going to fade. The ink is not going to be as vibrant, so you know that you are going to need another pen. You guys are gonna see how I'm drawing these with the pen really easy, the circles. Well, it's not the same when you're putting the resist. It's really difficult for me because it's a totally different technique, and it becomes a challenge sometimes. But with God helping you and encouraging you, you're able to do it. And if you are as anal as I am when it comes to perfection, it will kind of aggravate you. And it's really important that you don't get aggravated as you're doing these instruments of worship, that you operate in a spirit of joy. Now over here, I kind of like messed up. So I know that this first line here that I did is not gonna be good. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hatch it in a couple places so that I know that that's not where I'm supposed to put my resist. I'm gonna add a couple little bubbles here. Maybe here, tiny ones. And that's basically how it is done. Now, let me finish this end here so that I could show you how I freehand the design. And this is going to be a little difficult because of the length of the silk. You should try it, Barb. Let me see. I'm reading the messages. Hold on a second. Ta-da. Okay, Melissa. I have been wanting to make my own streamer, so I am very excited that you're going to share that with me. Your videos. Okay. Well, thank you. And, you know, it's a blessing for me to be able to share with you guys. It actually makes my day. I just love to share what the Lord has given me. And I hope that you guys do the same once you receive, that you just teach others. Because like I said before on our Saturdays tutorials, when we used to do them, you know, eventually this is not about us getting ahead. It's about us helping the body of Christ and the Church of Christ, the bride, to be prepared to be able to go to a higher level in worship through everything that they do. But if it's through arts, if we're working through the arts and painting silk and making flags, then, you know, it's not for us to keep it. It's for us to encourage the body. We're supposed to encourage one another to get to a higher place in worship and get to know the Lord better. So it is really a blessing for me to be able to share these things that He has taught me. And I really, really appreciate the time that I appreciate each and every single one of you, and I love your enthusiasm and your excitement. I really wish that I could teach you more, that I was there with you guys, being able to encourage you. So this is the best way that I can do it, and I really hope that it blesses each and every single one of you guys, so that you could go forth and bless others. Amen. So let's see. How long does the pen well, it depends on the design, Melissa. If the design is very complex, then of course. I don't know if you guys seen the lion with all the colors. That lion, I used 1.5 pens for each flag that I did. I mean, it's got so much detail. I'll post a picture. It should be on the album of hand painted flags. It's the lion that is with a black background and all the bright colors. That one. So it depends. Sometimes you could use it for like 2-3 pairs. Sometimes you could use it for longer than that. So that's why you never know when you're going to run out, because you don't know exactly what you're going to be working on at that point. So I always order 2. The resist is a different thing altogether. Yes. And it's fun to do. Barb, yes, you got to do some bubbles. I'm going to teach you how to paint bubbles later on. I've never done the no flow, Melissa. I've done the starch, and I could talk about that later, so that the dye does not run. So I do the no flow. I don't do the no flow, but I have done the starch on the silk. Blessings, Ernesto. How are you? It's so good to see you. I saw your pictures. So looks like you're having fun. This is here. Let's see. Melissa, amen. That is my ministry, to teach and train, equip, and send. Yes, that's what we're supposed to do. Hi, Joy. God bless you. Thank you. I give God all the glory. Let's see, how to seal the ends of the flag. You mean like the corners, or sewing them, or let me know what, kind of expand on your question, because I do several ways of sealing the flag. So let me know which, if you're talking about the sewing or the painting. Amen, Becky. Yes. Hi, Pam. Hi, Yolanda. God bless you. Of the edges, I usually use a serger, and but you could do a zigzag, or you could do a rolled hem. There's different ways, and I think I have a video on that. I'll look, and if I do, I'll come back to this video and I'll post it right below your comment, okay? And if not, I'll make a little blib so that you can see what I do. So just be looking out for that sometime between today and tomorrow, okay? All right, let's see. I think we got everything. So let me continue to, I think it'll probably be easier if I move the camera. Let me move the camera on this side. Yeah, here we go. So the pattern, as you see, goes up to here. So we want to make sure that we extend by doing a freehand. What you could do by freehand, if you do your pattern and you don't feel secure enough, just remember that these pens they're basically fade away with water once they get wet. So even if you make a mistake and it doesn't look right, just kind of hash around the line and do it again, and don't worry about it. Just trust the Lord to guide your hand. Say, Father, just guide my hand, and just, here's my hand, here's my brush, here's my paint, my pen, you guide it. I just hold the hand, I just hold the brush. I always say, I just hold the brush and he does all the work. So just is the same way with the sketching. So here we are. We have probably like 22 inches that we have to fill in that it's not in the pattern. So I move this here. We complete what's in the pattern. And that's basically where it stops. Now, I want this willow to be like instead of just a thin, I want it to kind of expand. I want it to look like it's a wave that it's coming and then it's forming. So I will probably, and see how I'm doing with the pen, I am not really making a straight line. I'm just going with the flow. I'm trusting where my hand is going, because I've already made that prayer, and the Lord is just going to make a way for it. Here we go. So now you have that. Let me grab, I don't know if you guys can see it. There. I'm gonna grab another pen because this one is getting a little faded. Now, that's not a brand new pen. That pen I've had for a while, so, and this one has been open too. So here was basically, I'll probably go like that. just let it flow. I'm gonna do my heart there. That's how you basically hand free. Then of course you're gonna have to bring in some circles to fill in this area, but not that many. You wanna go ahead and take that center and just fade it out this way. So you're basically just gonna have little bubbles just fading away. Same here. I have this trick for randomness that I do triangles. There's my triangle. Then I come back and accent in another triangle. And I go in. Now remember, you could always come back and add more. So that's how you sketch your design. That's how you transfer your design into the silk. And once we do this, once I finish this, then I will start the resist. So I'm gonna stop the video right now and we'll start a new video in about another hour and it's gonna be fun. And by then I'll have this, once I'm done here, I'll move the canvas, the silk back to where it was this morning. And from there we will start doing the resist. Now the resist is like I said this earlier, it could be very, it could take a lot of time, but it could be so rewarding. So just be prepared. You have to have your patience for the resist, especially when you're having flags this big. So, but that's how we do it. That's how we do it. I love you guys. You are welcome. Pam, I hope you're having a blessed day today. And we'll be back on in about an hour. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.